Yes.
All right, let's call the Black Oak County Commissioners Court to order this Tuesday, July 26, 2022. Ask Ms. Wall to call the roll.
Judge Grady.
Here.
Commissioner Ware.
Here.
Commissioner Eaton.
Here.
Commissioner Eastman.
Here.
Commissioner Grammer.
Here. Please join us in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for the invocation. Lord, it's us again, the ones who bring for rain. We ask you today to guide us and direct us, while we give thanks for this day that you have created. Grant us the wisdom and strength to make the decisions to make. Again, Lord, we're still praying for rain.
Public comment today, Mr. Kenneth Welch.
Today, I wish to praise you for putting forth a statement of your mission, vision, and goals for Black Oak County. I've been attending these meetings for 3 years, and in my very first meeting, I noted that transparency was of the utmost importance in the conduct of county business. The vision you're presenting recognizes the importance of transparency as well as accountability and professionalism. The fact that these traits are referenced in the vision statement indicates you are thinking of the future state of county government. Having such a vision is a start. However, without commitment and deliberate actions to achieve this vision, words in this document can just be words on paper that might be considered nothing but fluff. During my career at Union Pacific Railroad, I served several years as General Director of Quality. An essential component of quality processes is the concept of continuous improvement. The goals which you laid out, you mentioned improvement. In order to achieve your vision, it is imperative that you establish metrics for the goals. It is fine to say you intend to improve customer, business, and residents' satisfaction, but without metrics, those are empty words. I hope you give serious thought to these statements. If you fail to take the steps to achieve these goals, you will be opening yourselves up to severe criticism from customers, businesses, and residents. That being said, if you are sincere, there's a great opportunity for improvements that this document proposes. Over the past 3 years, I've seen and noted to you many instances where the traits you cite in this document were lacking or in need of improvement. Going through your budgeting process for the coming year will be an opportunity to demonstrate your sincerity. In your mission, you indicate you will partner with internal and external stakeholders. I look forward to the opportunity to partner with you as you go forward. And here's a copy of my statement for the record.
Mr. Barr, yes.
I'm here also for the rest of the mission statement. We have to walk and talk. I've attended about half a dozen of these over the last year. I've been here for about 6 years or so. You have to put rules in place that are really barriers for participation. 3 minutes of public comment, 17 agenda items. You know, you have long agendas and 3 minutes and you put it up front. When people came to talk during the agenda item being spoken. This is clearly barriers to participation in this. I get it. Some folks want to speak endlessly, you have to need some controls. Give me a break. 17 items, 3 minutes. Your body language on some of you indicate you care less about it. We have the right to speak, and you have a responsibility to listen and not be distracted by phones or papers or anything else. You want us to listen to what you have to say. You need to listen to what we have to say. it's more, and it's one, and you're more interested in the timekeeper yelling time than you are what people have to say. Other thing is, you schedule during the workday. People that work don't have an opportunity to attend these sessions. You do it twice a month, why can't one do it on a weekend or an evening? Every county employee here is being paid to be here. I am not. And if any other citizen that's not presenting, that's working for a company to present to you, they're getting paid to be here. I am not. And finally, to give you credit, if I hadn't seen it this time, but public communication with citizens of Lake County, because they disagree with you or they challenge you, in your eyes, they might be a pain, you know, and so you send them to the corner, you're elected and you're paid officials. You have the responsibility to treat everyone with dignity and respect. And yes, it's a one-way street. It's like you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen. If you don't walk the talk, this document is useless as toilet paper. Professionalism, respect, transparency. And obviously, I don't have all of your attention, so it seems like it definitely falls on deaf ears.
Ms. Deanne Welch.
My name is Ann Welch of Lake County, and I also want to address agenda item number 5, the mission, vision, and goals statement. Of course, I have no idea why this came up at this time. Maybe you're applying for a grant and they want a mission statement, who knows? But I do want to point out to you that the Texas Association of Counties, I hope that's an organization that you're all familiar with. They have a 26-point best practices document on their website. And coming here to these meetings for 3 years now, I noticed that you're deficient in some of those points. So I might want to consider that, just in case your mission and vision and goals have some of their purpose. Thank you.
Item 1 on the agenda is review and consideration of requirements.
I'll make a motion to dispense with reading of minutes, except as presented.
Is there a second? Second. Mr. Greenberg, discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Motion carries. Item 2, line item transfers, the top one is for your approval or disapproval, and the others are for your ratification.
I'll make a motion to approve the line item transfers as presented.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Commissioner Eager, discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Motion carries. Next item are the bills.
Make a motion to approve this, the outstanding bill for July 2022 in the amount of $296,809.46.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Greenberg, discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Motion carries. Item 4, Mr. Perry is here to present to us today. And he has some, I think, some pretty good news.
Good morning, Judge Commissioners. Steve Herrick, D.A. Davidson, County Financial Advisor, and I do think we had an excellent result from the sale of the certificates of obligation. It was conducted yesterday at 11 a.m. by competitive sealed bid process, and I'll walk you through the results here. We sold to receive $3.5 million of proceeds for your projects. We ended up selling 3,460,000 certificates, and I'll walk through how that works as this booklet here. The true interest cost, that's the measure that we use to rate the sealed bids, came in at 3.16%. So I think that was an outstanding result. And on the front cover, the county's rating, AA by Standard & Poor's, part of the process that we went through in this getting these certificates ready for sale. is talking with the credit rating agency. The county's rated previously at AA minus, and because of the economic growth and primarily because of the financial management of the county, Standard & Poor's upgraded the credit rating to AA, which is outstanding news. So that puts you 2 notches away from the highest possible credit rating, AAA. And reduces your interest cost. It's probably worth $100,000 or so in interest costs on these certificates. So credit to the county again for having solid financial practices and also being benefited from economic growth. So I'll walk through some of the contents in this booklet here and stop me if you have questions. The first page I printed off from the internet shows the folks that bid. Ultimately, the winning bid came from the Baker Group, which is an investment bank based in Oklahoma. The other 2 are prepared at FHN. This is on the page. Those are national investment banks. So we had 3 bids. You'll see that the winning bid was 3.165, and the next best was 3.168. So I feel like it was very competitive. We know the market was, and we got the best possible bid. On the next page, a lot of details. These are the interest rates and the yields that the investors bid in order to won. The yield column is I think the most interesting. So if you're an investor who bought some of the bonds in 2023, your return was 2%, and at the highest going out to the year 2037, 3.35%. So those are good interest rates. These certificates will be callable. The county has the option to redeem these in August of 2031. 10-year call is standard. This is a 9-year optional redemption feature. These interest rates are so low that in all practicality, we probably won't have an option, but we won't have the ability years down the road to refinance these. But if interest rates do drop significantly, we do have that option. The next page is just a semi-annual set of payments, so that you can see first payment starts February 1st of 2023, next payment August 1st of 2023, and so on and so forth until 2037 with the certificate mature. On the next page, we have, and I show you how we received $3.4 million, $3.46 million of the principal of bonds. And the investors gave us $162,000 of a premium. We apply that to the first line, which is what we pay the underwriters, and that's part of the competitive bid. Next line was the cost of issuance, and I've got a breakdown of that on the next page. And $3.5 million will be available on August 16th for the county to use for its projects, and then just a small revenue. And then the last page are all the costs associated. So on the day of closing, very professional would work on this transaction. We pay on wire, the county doesn't do on pocket. Again, I think it was a very, very strong result. Pleased to represent the county on this. I don't think it could have gone better. So I'm very comfortable recommending this to you for consideration and approval. Mark Fowler, with your bond counsel firm is here. If you have any questions for him, or certainly if you have any questions for me, let me know.
Questions? I'm not familiar with the re-offering premium line. How did that happen?
So the re-offering agreement within the parameters that we get the investors to bid on the sales of the certificates, we tell them that we need a certain amount to pay for our costs. And so they know that whenever they bid bonds, they need to give us more than 100 cents on the dollar for the bonds. And you saw how we applied that. Part of it goes to our cost, and part of it goes to paying their costs. So it's all accounted for within the source of uses of funds. We just stipulated that we need more than 100 cents on the dollar to pay this cost.
I mean, that looks like we did better than we thought we were going to do.
We probably did better. And part of that again was because of the increase in the credit rating. And then again, I'm always trying to be conservative.
The 3.16%, I'm trying to remember, it seems like you were telling me earlier in time that we should be expecting a larger number, that interest rates are going up, and we should expect worse.
Correct. That trend has been so volatile this year that, we take a 2-week span of time. Interest rates have been fluctuating by, sometimes 0.5%. So it's just hard to know where rates are going to be any given day. We have to catch a good time, looking at the 10-year treasury that just a couple of weeks ago, or a couple of months ago, it's at 3.5%. Today's at 2.70. So there's so much economic data that the markets are responding to those, and a lot of times you're in large ways. So I want to make sure that we're comfortable with a level.
Well, I want to thank you and Mr. Connor and Ms. Lindas for helping me to be prepared to go through that interview process with moderating council. It looks to be pretty fruitful for us.
It certainly was. County was well represented in the process.
Other comments or questions? So what we need is a motion to approve this.
Correct.
So I make a motion to approve the order authorizing the issuance of Blanford County, Texas combination tax and revenue certificates of obligation series 2022, levying and ad valorem tax in support of approving and paying agent registrar agreement and an investment letter and authorizing other matters related to the certificate.
Is there a second?
I'll say.
I just want to make sure that, I know with these things, we have to have specific words, so
Right.
make sure I had it in there.
Yeah.
Discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all for your very much. It says this is item 5. The mission, vision, and goal statement. And this was Mr. Megan, I think it's in the back of the room, if you have questions, you can discuss it with him. And this was astutely recognized as something we are putting before you so that we do qualify for certain grants that are coming in. In fact, one specifically that you'll be asked to authorize us to apply for, ask for this kind of a statement. So, Mr. Megan, dutifully put one together for you to consider. And by the way, I believe, I know that this mission, vision, and goals statement is a amalgamation from our neighboring counties. So it follows a trend.
I make a motion to adopt the Blanford County mission, vision, and goal statement.
Is there a second? Second. Member discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item 6. Is a request to authorize a grant application to LCRA, I was trying to parse between the two. LCRA for the Starlight Base Station. And so I'm imagining that you all already know this, but so there's no misunderstanding. The level of grant is not a lot of money, but every little bit helps. So we're certainly going to see every bit that we can find.
I make a motion to approve the resolution authorizing submission of a grant application and partial funding of the Starlight and North Blanford County EMS operations facility to the LCRA Community Development Partnership Program.
There is a second. I'll second. Commissioner Eager, discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. This Strickland, who's available today, is suggesting that we ought to consider setting a fee for address signs. As I recall, other counties around us do have a shaping radius. Weston County in particular, we know for sure, and then others also.
I make a motion to implement the fees to produce a 911 address sign. The fees could be, for in-house pickup is $15, and if they want to be mailed, then it'll be a fee of $20.
Second.
Commissioner Fisher makes the motion, Commissioner Rear seconds the motion. Discussion. When we created the subdivision regulations, amended it to the most version, we had various fees set up in there, but this was not really one of them. And the level of activity for subdivisions and people moving in, building new residences and businesses and 911 address locations continues to rise, and it's a lot of work on that particular office. And I think that is a good reason to consider creating a fee, because it will offset the cost of having to produce all those signs. But I guess I'm just making a comment for explanation purposes that this isn't part of that fee. We're not creating something that we already recovered, or we've got actually recovered, not have another fee to regulate this purpose.
Well, how will that affect the, parking infrastructure, rules and regulations?
I believe they have to have this sign, don't they have to have a sign for that's the way it is.
Yeah.
Unless you're going to a motion. How would you do it? If you had 100 slots?
I think that was covered in our, initiation fee, because they pay a set amount, I think $35 per pad.
It was
$100 a pad? Yeah, I think it's covered in that,
911 address.
to include the 911 address.
This would be for,
Single one-offs.
yes.
Okay.
That's good. I'm glad you brought that up. It's good to know that. Good to flesh that out. All right, so there's a motion and a second on the table. Further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item A. We need to appoint two alternate judges. Being alternates, I don't see Mr. Fitzgerald. Ms. Lees is here, if we need clarification, but we need to appoint alternate judges for precincts 102 and 302.
Make a motion to appoint two alternate judges to serve the unexpected one-year term precincts 102 and 302 from the supplemental list provided by Blanco County Democratic Party Chair pursuant to Section 32 Texas Election Code.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Graham. So specifically, the names on that list are Rachel Wilgren for 102 and Eric Porter for 302.
I'll enter those in the motion.
And part of your second is Wilgren.
Yes.
Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item 9, we have a long-standing interlocal agreement with CalCog regarding our 911 geographic information system. Basically, it's a kind of grant, if you will. It helps us to fund paying for providing the geographic information system data necessary.
Make a motion to authorize the county judge to sign the Capital Area Council of Governments interlocal agreement for 911 GIS database management for FY 2023, pending county attorney approval.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Commissioner Eager, discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item 10, the Human Resources Department
is suggesting that it's time to revise our policy and make it clear that from here on out, if you're going to have extended leave, you're going to have to use your sick leave for COVID, that it won't be covered under an emergency order anymore.
I'm going to take action regarding mandating employees to use sick pay for COVID-19 illness.
Is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Leeson, discussion? Anything to add? No? Okay. So, there, all done? All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Motion carries. And that takes us to a preliminary plat.
Yes, sir. We received a preliminary plat, and we have found some discrepancies, but those discrepancies have been taken care of, and I would like to make a motion to consider the preliminary plat of Red Bud Ranch subdivision.
Is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Weir, discussion. So what were the,
They were minor. It was in the preliminary map, they had 2 lot 28s, they had to change 1 to 29. And it was listed in the water availability study that the water had been drawn from a certain well, when actually it had been drawn from a different well. And that was changed in the records, everything is ready.
and where is this? In the county?
It's A. Robinson Road, just at the edge of town.
There was another one referencing the amount of lots for the formula. There was 33 connections instead of 32. But they changed that as well.
Okay, anything else? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Donations, Commissioner Leeson.
So we received a check from Mr. Wynn in the amount of $500 for our efforts on the Cypress Mill Farm. And I'd like to make a motion to receive that and put it in our general fund.
Is there a second?
I'll say it.
Commissioner Weir, 8 or seconds. Discussion. So, what would this offset? What kind of expenses did the county have?
So the county, we spent over $1,200 in fuel. One, we filled up, we had a Marble Falls engine, if you call it, that was set on the house up there. They were protecting the house that pretty much ran out of fuel. They didn't have enough fuel to get back to the gas station even fill up. So we did that, and there were some brush trucks that we were able to put fuel in, they come from long distances off. We gave them some fuel for 5 years.
That helicopters at the Cypress Mill Fire, wasn't it?
Yes, sir. There was multiple helicopters at the site on fire.
You don't have any kind of fuel that you
No, sir.
supply to them, do you?
No, sir. And we also had, during that fire, on that specific fire, we had one C-130 plane. And what else did we have in? Was there any seat? There was a air attack. I don't remember if there was any seats. I don't think we had any seats, did we?
There's no seats, just heavier tankers and helicopters.
And C stands for,
Single engine air tankers, little prop planes.
The ones that come out of first.
the Raptors of air firefighting. So, anytime I've given a donation, it's to a fire, for a fire like this, for an event, it's actually to the fire department. This seems unusual. Did you?
During the conversations, during the fire itself, meeting with the ranch foremans in this area, they expressed their will to donate to every agency that was there. So we supplied them with a list of every agency that was there. I do not know, or nor have I followed up with other agencies to see if they received anything, but that was the will of the ranch foreman at that time of the fire.
So it's likely.
It's likely that they submitted money to every agency that was there.
But I guess we should be especially appreciative because this is unusual for us.
Absolutely.
Further discussion? All in favor, say aye. All opposed, motion carries. Item 13 is Lincoln County cleanup event. Commissioner Graham.
We had an event in April and finally got all the documents back. What we were waiting on was our weights from the scrap metal and the bill for Waste Connections. And we budgeted $10,000 for this event, and it cost us $10,528.52. But we were able to generate some revenue through the sale of scrap metal and batteries. And then the donations basically were to offset the tire disposal, and didn't quite meet our tire disposal amount, and mainly because the tires we didn't collect for were tires that had been picked up along our right of ways that were properly disposed of. And so there was no donation for those additional tires. But the event came off very, very well. We had a lot of participation, and we came well on the budget on this project.
So expenses outpaced revenue almost 2 to 1, but then that doesn't take into account the benefit of getting all that hazardous waste out of the county.
Well, this wasn't a hazardous, this was
Clean.
just
Regular.
regular. Yeah, just regular. And people have an opportunity to just clean up their properties, place the property, dispose of it, so they utilize it. And appreciate the opportunity to be able to do that.
Okay, any other comments or questions? Commissioner Greenberg? Moving to item 16, preliminary plan, Commissioner Greenberg.
Number 14, yeah, this is,
That's it.
yeah, 14. This is a preliminary plat that is a private road subdivision. It is located on Highway 165 in Blanco County between Henley and Blanco. And it's a somewhat small subdivision, it's only 187 acres. There's one issue that the developer is requesting a variance. And the reason for the variance is he has a commercial highway lot that is not going to be utilized for residential, and it is under the minimum of 5 acres. So what they are requesting is a variance to allow the under 5 acre lot for commercial development along the highway frontage. And all the other issues that were brought up with the water, the engineering, all those have been addressed. So the only issue would be granting variance for is less than 5 acre parcel. And I would be in favor of doing that because it is a commercial road, it's not residential. And they have some plans for a commercial type operation there that doesn't require a full 5 acre parcel. And they have the water and the septic is in place on that parcel. Surveyor and the owner is still getting that's that 3 acre parcel already has the well and septic.
It has the well on it, not the septic.
Okay, but it has it's possible,
And or just one of them,
or whatever.
it does not have septic.
No, that's not sense.
So the issue I had with that is, on one form here, one sheet, they're asking this to be a commercial tract, and allow that. However, on another statement that they've provided to the appraisal district, stated that the retaining lots 1 through 5 is one parcel. So they're trying to avoid any rollback, in that scenario. So, Judge, I don't know that we have the authority to zone a lot. So in our rules and regulations, it said that no lot shall be less than 5 acres.
It does say that, I think we do have language that allows to cut it areas if we want,
But, Rick, we have the language to make a variance, yes.
and that's what they're asking. But, I'm gonna need you to go through that with me again. They're trying to retain more than just the land for themselves.
So it says the developer stated he is retaining lots 1 through 5 as one parcel. Because this is in reference to the ag evaluation requirements.
Okay, so whenever I think most of you is doing what I said, you're gonna put in like a convenience store side. Telling me that, or is the thought that they're gonna run cows on 5 lots?
Well, I'm assuming that they're trying to avoid the rollback rate that will be in effect if they took it out of, I'm assuming it's ag exempt right now. And in order for them to make this a commercial lot, then they have to abide by the rollback rate of that area.
So why do cows need a toilet?
I know.
But now, since long as the perimeter is fenced, animals have access to all this should, and this is from the appraisal there.
Correct, how can you fence a commercial property? Unless you put a cattle right up front, let the cows eat from that, their store.
What's the alternative?
Will you please explain exactly what the plan is?
The purpose of retaining the 5 lots is because, that's all in a wildlife exemption right now. The commercial entity is not slated to get developed in terms of making an operational business until everything else is kind of done and up and going. So that's why it's kept that way. So I'm not trying to avoid the rollback on purpose by keeping it joint, it's just that I own all of it. So I'm just keeping it together. So I understand that once the thing is operational, it's a commercial thing, then whatever needs to be done for capacity is perfectly fine with me. I'm just trying to get all the things, break that done in advance.
You're asking us to okay 3 point something acres, so the 5 acre is just a little over an acre. Is there any way you can cut that into that, make that 5.1?
It's just the way it's broken up, it's already pre-fenced with cross fencing already, and so we have to re-fence all that whole 40 acres to get it to meet.
Because we don't have zoning, Judge, I was wondering, do we see that lot any different than a residential lot?
What's your plan for the lot?
We're gonna make it kind of a community, put a restaurant or something there, some sort of food thing, small, it's very small, it's not very large.
Okay. There's I don't mean to press you, but I'm just, you said kind of a community thing, a restaurant. I guess I was hoping for like an answer. If you don't have a solid plan, I just want to make sure that we're gonna put a convenience store, a restaurant.
No convenience store, yeah, it will be an eatery of some sort, but it'll be small.
So what's to prevent someone from buying that 3 acres and putting a house on it?
What's to prevent it? Well, it's under 5 acres.
I'm just asking for a variance. But you're asking for a variance from the 5 acre.
We can put it in the title that there's no way that it can be anything other than commercial. I don't want it to be a resident. No one's gonna live there. It's right on the front road. I mean, it's right on 165.
We could deed restrict it.
We can deed restrict it as commercial only forever. I don't think that's fine. The other thing also is there's a driveway issues with 165, the permitting for that, so you have a permit to do it only in one place. It's not a very easy in and out. So we got a permitted text off.
So does the text dot permit, I think this is an existing easement.
It's an existing easement that's going to be vacated and moved over to the road, because that road doesn't exist.
So the driveway's gonna be on.
It's a little, yeah, that's where the driveway is currently, but we've widened it, to make it commercial accessible as per Texas rules. And the only reason we did that was for that 3 acres in front.
So just
Problem with moving 2 lot lines and making that 5 acres.
I'm sorry?
What is the problem with moving 2 boundary lines and making that 5 acres?
We just use the natural contours of the land and where the cross fencing for the goat pastures and stuff, they're there, because they're actually utilizing that 3 acres.
I've got a problem with it, not because you could have, but the east end of the county on 290, right along that run, and other areas, where you're seeing more and more commercial activity on those, north and south side of 290 and other places. Then when the price of property gets up to the point where, that makes quite a bit of difference between, 4 acres and 5 acres. So I feel like we're gonna see more and more people approaching us along those corridors that are going to be asking us to get a variance to do smaller and smaller pieces along the highway because of the cost of going. I do see 5 acres as a large piece of property. I'm still a small business, but, I can see that taking off on its own, so we might be dealing with on a regular basis. In these corridors, I'm talking, let's use 281.
Yeah.
All along 281, not 290, not the east, let's go north and south and do the same.
But the 165 is not the US highway, is it?
Yeah, it's
Right, but the argument's still there.
At a lesser, you my traffic on a lesser level.
The argument's still there.
it starts to become unviable to do these sort of commercial things and just turn into 5 acres. 'Cause there's not a lot of, you can't get a lot of service people as of right now because of the rules that are in place. People can't afford to live here, so that you can't really put in a big operation there.
We'll be dealing also with, THC regs, if I read this right. Title 30, THC chapter 285 rules on second thing. So that is something we'll be in the future too.
I'm still gonna be subject to being able to provide all the things that I need to be able to put in business or whatever it takes to do that, so.
I understand, just, what I'm trying to say is what's to start. A one-on-one deal with everybody.
Yeah, I can certainly understand that as a possibility, but it was in order to be able to sustain growth, and purposely made my acres at 10 to limit the amount of people that came in here, so I made that limitation, I could have gone down to 5.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, but I kept it at 10 because that would allow a lot of open space around all homes and all those things, so it's not gonna be really crowded. But at the same time, when you're living in that area, having a little place you can go to eat or whatever is close and just doesn't exist in that area.
Is the 23.26 acre tract, it's kind of a big dog area.
Right.
Is that
Better there. Yeah, I don't really want it to be super crowded. I'm still digesting that neighbors.
Is that well, even the next door neighbor to you, the 8.45 acre tract, all you need is 1.5
all, there's existing cross fencing, it's all there, it's all in place, and it's all
Will be
nice.
moved. Anything be moved?
Anything can happen, for sure.
Is this, if I can read right, looks like it's about 273 or 274 feet for the fence between the two lots. Is that right?
I don't remember that.
That is correct on the.
The other thing also is where the fencing is, I think there's distances to the existing well that's on there. I think that if we remove it, then
The next lot would lose as well.
Yeah.
Is that what you're trying?
there's one that's there. I mean, well, there's also distances between the lot lines you're supposed to have for the existing wells and all that stuff. Everything's just placed perfect. I said these is the existing. So actually, in order to do that, we have to put even more, in which case that front one would be beyond 5 acres.
I like the plat, 10 acre plus, all of that. We
Yeah.
don't make that out. This is one problem that we resolve over the next.
Yeah, I can certainly look into redrawing and showing up a little bit of stuff, but it'd be kind of funny within a lot to make it work out that way. If you were to go and see the place, it's all very natural, everything, even the roads that we put in, they all just fit in where they naturally be, so. Try not to find anything.
While we're studying and thinking about this, I much wider note. Could you not have come up with that way?
It's kind of funny, we just kind of, it just, I didn't think of anything other than it's just kind of in between.
Private road subdivision.
Pre-planted.
Well, it's not, I don't care that it's, I worry about it being, confusing.
I think the idea behind it was that we wanted, even where the home places are, where they put a house, everything still be privately on 10 acres. And I just kind of left it that way. We played with the word and tested it against a lot of things, and it definitely brings an emotion, so the important thing is that you remember it.
I almost always think about these in terms of what the dispatcher hears with the 911 call. That, like, private road subdivision gives me a little heartburn.
Have you seen our entrance redesign? I think it's beautiful, they won't miss it, so.
Does the text dot permit show, commercial travel? I guess my question would be, when you're discussing with text dot on your driveway permit, are they gonna make you do any type of, turn lane or
No, because the volumes,
even being a commercial lot, right there?
yeah, they just want it to be 30 feet wide or 34, something like that, so we can make it wider. There's not enough traffic coming in and out of there to warrant that.
If it's a restaurant, it could be enough traffic.
The restaurant is literally like 400 square feet, I mean, it's small. It's an old hunter's cabin, it's tiny.
This is stated, it's residential.
So the total state resident, the text dot permit state resident.
So, hold on to that thought. And I think you already read this, but as long as the perimeter is fenced and animals have access to all properties, this should be fine, because the Jeep Prater. How are they gonna have access to all properties, but I'm still gonna be able to come in and get a burger?
As I was trying to say in the beginning, when the commercial thing exists, obviously I'm not gonna be able to have animals running in. So whatever rollbacks and things we need to do when we start using it as a commercial property spot.
So this goes away, really, in that.
But all these cross fences that you was talking about have to go away as well, right?
That cross fence is around there, once I lock out, the animals can't go into that area.
You mentioned earlier that there was multiple cross fences that would have to be
That's
there.
where those property lines are, that's where the fences are.
So if there's a fence there, then how does the wildlife exemption go onto this 5 acres?
Because the gates are open.
Don't shut the gates, is that gonna be interrupted?
That is but even with the ag exemption we're talking about for the back 150 acres, you can fence it in, but you have to leave gates open, and then you qualify. If the gates are closed, then you don't qualify.
For what hazard?
Ag.
Oh, you can share
Yeah, I
that.
don't think it's right exactly to be sure. You can have it, if it's ag,
Oh, if you have the animals in it, but if you,
I'm
let's just say you want.
saying you can rotate grazing.
Oh, yeah.
Well, gates were closed. This is, we're getting way off gates.
Okay.
I'm more interested in the side of the property.
Right. Understood.
I'm more interested in the text up front that shows residential and commercials. Therefore, need a different text up front.
Do you want to, have us table this while you go deal with TxDOT, or do you want to, consider approval, conditioned on you redrawing the lines? Or how you, what do you want to, because I'm not sensing
A lot of form.
great consensus.
I think, I'm not quite sure how to answer that without studying it.
Okay. Well, and if I'm not mistaken, we're under the gun, we have to approve or disapprove, right? Because of the statute, the way it's worded, most recently at the last legislative session. So we have to make a decision. One way or the other. And that decision, based on our recent experience, really can't be, or shouldn't be, and we've been asking this earlier when this, asked you to come in here, but, shouldn't be, we don't need to take a no action as a, no, so we need to vote to disapprove or vote to approve.
Would you agree?
Well, what I would do, I would be prepared to make a motion to allow the variance for the 3.81 acre parcel. To approve the plat estimate.
Is there a second? Motion dies for lack of second.
Okay, then in that case, can we go in and we'll adjust it to make it to 5 acres?
Certainly.
But I'll just redraw some of the other ones to accommodate, because I have to add 1.2 acres somehow.
Does that mean you are excusing us from having to take action on it today?
Can we make the contingent, contingent on this change being made, approve from the plan?
Yeah, I think we can, if we want to designate somebody, and for me, it would be Commissioner Grammer to approve the actual line that it became 5 acres.
So what you mean?
I'll just redraw.
Somebody has to do it, unless you want.
Yeah, you just eliminate the commercial frontage and put it in the residential.
No, I think you're saying I can still do a commercial if I do it for 5 acres, is that what I understand?
Well, we thought that, but now Commissioner Leishman has concerns because TxDOT doesn't see it that way.
So then until TxDOT says it's a commercial property or a commercial drive, then it's not.
Let me ask you another question. As far as you're concerned, assuming that the TxDOT said it was a commercial entrance, and I have the 5 acres, you guys are okay with that being a commercial property?
No, because if you make it from, if you change it from a residential to a commercial property, TxDOT has the right to come back on your driveway permit and null and void it.
I understand,
He's saying, I think I heard him say, he lines it out with TxDOT and gets a commercial designation from TxDOT. And, Schultzmeyer redraws the line, so it's 5 acres. Do we have a problem with it's going to be a hamburger chain or something else? We do not.
okay, I'll do the rest of it, that's fine.
But, do we need to act, would that, if we do it, does that require we have to refile or anything else, because I really don't want to do it?
When I'm being told by, Mr. Allison, we either have to deny it or approve it today.
But if they go, if we deny it today, does that mean new fees?
be up to the county.
Okay. Well, then probably the thing to do, put words in your mouth, which is deny it today, but be receptive to, once you resolve those two issues that we've been talking about, bring it back, we'll waive fees, I think, and reconsider.
Okay, so just to be clear, so if I make it 5 acres, the lines, 5 acres, and then you want, need to have the textile driveway as a commercial in it somewhere. And then you waive the fees that needs to be submitted, is that accurate?
No, wait, fees, you've already paid the fees, right?
But
We just wouldn't charge you again.
Actually, we have it twice.
it's kind of way, because we're supposed to charge you.
Is that
I think that's accurate. I can't speak for my body, but
I just, my preference is to come here once again and you guys say, hey, perfect.
don't blame me.
And that's the purpose of the preliminary work calculation.
Right, so I mean, that's what I'm saying is if there's a way we can do it on the contingent level, I'll get it straightened out.
I think what you have decided is correct. That's what we will do. And I see it's shaking hands, so I think we are committed. So, with that said, we kind of need to act on it today and negative.
So I make a motion to deny the preliminary plat for private road subdivision
With
with the understanding that there will be a re-application and with the changes that we've proposed.
I'll second that.
Commissioner Ware, second discussion. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. The maps are in today's maps are in your packet. I'm not sure I've ever seen it with any words. I don't know about you, but I'd be approached about, we really need to have this program.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
I'm not understanding.
And I'll make a motion to continue the bird bank on 23rd at 12 noon. That would be the second meeting in August.
You sure it's 23rd?
That's what I thought. I've been wrong.
Sounds right.
Okay.
It is.
Okay.
Is there a second? Commissioner Ware, discussion.
We are in a disaster declaration declared by the governor, so FYI.
Anything else? All in favor, say aye. All opposed, motion carries. The next item, the next couple of items involve budget and it may take some time. You two gentlemen have the most expensive meetings running in the building. You're more than welcome to stay, but I also want to offer you the opportunity if you have other things you need to do, please don't feel the need to stay out. Oh, we got next meeting. Sure.
Want to recess for a minute?
Please, let's just recess for a minute. We didn't have this slide right now. Sure. Okay, it's great. So, moving to item 17. No, I'm sorry, 16. Discussion on the budget. There's a lot to discuss. So, whatever we can come up with today, your comments versus what I am proposing. I wanted to announce that Ms. Waller will come in on Sunday, July the 31st.
I will file my proposed budget on Sunday, July 31st. And it will at least be, it's not on the website on Sunday, it will be on the website on Monday, as proposed. So, here's quite a few things you all gave to, I can see you have those changes. So let me start with, if I may, on the revenue side. Because legal counsel tells us, well, let's see, I went away from the last meeting after talking about a percentage on state exemption and received a lot of feedback that folks really wanted a dollar amount on state exemption. I was thinking about it, had Ms. Fry help me with the idea of the $50,000 homestead exemption. So you may hear me say that. Legal counsel says that's not doable. And at this late date, what we needed to do was just proceed with the exemptions that we have. Because the valuations are as high as they are, I recalculated a little bit. And I'm basing my revenue estimate projection on 30.5866 cents per $100 valuation. Now, Ms. Fry has just certified yesterday her actual numbers. And so before Sunday, I'll be recalculating, but it will be very, very close to that number of what I'm projecting for the maintenance and operations tax, 30.5866, and the revenue of 8.27777. Additionally, on the interest and savings side, the rate that Ms. Fry has calculated is 5.8106 cents per hundred.
Okay.
That's page 46, sorry. 5.8106 cents per hundred. You can see the corresponding revenue right 1572538. So that's where I am right now. Of course, the Commissioner's Court in the next month or so, we change the law. On the IS side, we're a little bit obligated to do that part. On the M&O side, you have some more flexibility. I believe the voter approval rate is very turning out to be $41.5657 cents per hundred. Or stated differently, 0.415657. So I reluctantly tell you that to say that you have room to go up if you don't like our proposals on taxes. Okay. Other things quickly to note are there's an auditor salary increase that's just like the other salary increases that I'm proposing. But it's a placeholder, because in truth be fact, the district judges have not yet had to determine what they say auditor salaries are going to be. I'm sure it'll probably be in that range, probably. If it were lower, I would recommend people go ahead and make it as high as we can know. Apply the same methodology to her salary that we do county employees. And then on the next page, on the indigent defense, I'm going to change that number to go back around to a number more consistent with history. All right. On the salaries, if you're looking at all the pages, what I have proposed is a straight dollar figure increase across the board for everyone. That comes out to $1.56 per hour on a 2,080 hour year per person. So for commissioners, elected officials, and people higher in the scale, it's a lower percentage rate. And for people at the lower end of the scale, it's a higher percentage rate. The actual dollar figure that comes out to $1.56 an hour for small people is $3,245 per year raise. For part-time people, it would be half of that, it would be $1,672. And for law enforcement, who's already received some adjustments, I'm proposing 3/4, which is $1.17 an hour, which comes out to $25.50 total. And if you have, do they not have these two people? When she came to these two pages, then you'll also need to take into account there's about 4 columns in the middle there talking about longevity. And you can see that my proposal is to apply longevity after the increase. So at any rate, the final numbers, you can see the total proposed column. It's much less than the discussions we talked about in the last time or two. It's in line with what I see other counties doing. I will admit that my conversations with other county judges and my research was last week or the week before, and so not taking into account this week's lovely inflation numbers that are coming out. What else do I want to say about this? So there are some, there were some things that we had to kind of figure out what the right thing to do is. For example, if someone has someone's working for us basically in 2 part-time positions, so I applied the part-time amount to each of those. I applied the part-time amount to the ag extension folks because we only really pay a portion of their salary. And I applied the 3245 to the maintenance man that's over in the LEC who did not get LEC treatment back in May, I think it was, because he's not law enforcement. So, think originally I was proposing last time somewhere in the neighborhood of 9 or 9.3%, something like that. And the the overall cost for that would be a little more than this, but not a lot more. So if you don't like this, you can probably make adjustments, and I still have time to adjust my proposal, depending on the feedback today. I think, you see, if you look on the bottom, you can see that basically the overall raises for the entire county, for everything all together, is $128,000 and change for the non-law enforcement, $127,000 and change for the law enforcement side. There's other things to discuss, so if you want to hold on to the salaries, we're going to talk about it.
Send us one on top.
I will say, let's remember one more thing, is that there currently is budgeted a number to have the salary, compensation study, I shouldn't say salary, it's a compensation study, I think it should be a compensation classification study. And so if this budget passes with that matter in it, I would like to see that start as soon as the fiscal year starts as possible, that we try to get somebody on that and conduct that study to find out where we really are. Are we really way behind now like some of the other counties? Are we not? Are we classified right? All those things, we need to have some intense scrutiny put to, I think. Okay. I guess the next thing I would like to bring to your attention is page 41. The next agenda item is asking the court to consider moving money out of the road and bridge savings account and applying it to Commissioner Weir's trainer lease project. But if you do that today, then I would probably want to adjust that number on line 15,543.30 down by about $320,000, because I don't think you won't need that if you already get it in this year. Except that it doesn't roll over, so. Yeah, because we made a decision that unspent road and bridge rolls over.
This stays.
Yeah.
But it won't stay in the line item, it rolls over to the
It'll go back in
road and bridge.
It'll go back in the road and bridge piggyback.
Yes.
That's fine. Good. So I guess I'm saying that's what I would propose to do is if you get your funds today, reduce the budget request. And if for some reason you can't finish that project in time, then we'll go back and ask for some more money probably.
Yes, sir. And I have no money in my, road bridge fund, that's this year's budget.
Okay.
And so, get it working.
So now there are 2 pages we need to talk about together. What pages are important? So 27 and 46 are the 2 pages that we look at together. I am going to propose, well, actually, I don't know what I'm going to propose, it depends on how this conversation is. But the numbers that you have in front of you are taken out really big number. Courthouse restoration reduced it a lot. With the idea being, and I've gone back and consulted with the architect and the engineers, and I think I may have made a mistake the last time I talked about this and said that I thought that they said that we could put this off for a while. What they say now is the exact words were, we need to do it as soon as possible. I'm not saying it's going to fall in on us as we sit here, but they did say as soon as possible that, if we don't do something, it will just continue to deteriorate. So I think we need to address it sooner, but that big number in non-department was, for that kind of a capital expenditure, was hard to make it work correctly. And so I included another line on the in the INS page, there's a typo, it says 2022, I think it'll be 2023 tax number, in which we fund the couple of repairs. Probably in the neighborhood of $700,000 to $800,000. We do it over a 5-year tax number. You see it has a 0 there because we won't, if the 2023 tax number, we do it after the first year, then there won't be a payment due until the next fiscal year, 2023-24. So the idea of the line item is just to get your commitment that that's what we're going to do, is we'll finance repairs of the couple after the first of the year. But it doesn't affect this year's budget. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Now, there's some options though. I double checked this morning, and if you want to, there's 2 pieces to the couple of project, and one is to make the railings safe and repair for the upper and outer parts, and the other is to fix the bottom to make it stable, to repair the instability. The bottom part is going to take about $400,000, so they said it's going to. The top part about $350,000, which is a total of $750,000. And those are guesses; those are kind of just wrong estimates. Best that I can get of architects and engineers. So what you could do is, if you don't want to finance it, or you don't want to go that plan, so we put a number, we can put the whole number back in here, or just have a balanced budget, or we could put the $400,000 back in here. Still in balance, I'll have to figure it out. But my preference would be to finance the whole thing in 5 years and get it done. That's, I just want to give you options. And then on that non-departmental page, we still have the number 162 and 82 for the county appraisal district. And that's just a placeholder because not the budget is yet for our share with the school district, cities, ESDs, and others will be surely in that neighborhood. Yeah. Change this page. Okay. Well, you can see some of the miscellaneous adjustments that county's been making for fuel and food, things of that nature, mostly in the LEC. Salisbury. I think we've asked you, and I'm moving around now, on the vehicles, four vehicles for the sheriff's office. I'm trying to identify, I was hoping to be able to talk to the commissioners the other day, but I don't know that you're going to be ready to do that. Trying to figure out which four are being replaced.
I know that information is available, just not to me. And Sheriff is at his conference, so as soon as he returns, we should have that for y'all immediately.
It's available, but she don't. Sheriff has it, gets out of town. But,
Well, we will take that, I guess, next meeting. So, what do you want to talk about?
I'll start. Wait,
You're very cracky on your speaking over to your mic.
Which one was it?
Gonna wait on that.
What?
Gonna wait on that. On the elections administrator page number 9, I would like to increase the salary for the administrator, the vacant administrator, of $52,000. Putting that about $25 an hour, hopefully that will be a number that will attract an individual to come in and run the elections administrator.
And I'm fine with proposing that.
On the maintenance department, page number 39, the maintenance supervisor, I would like to increase that amount to $47,354. That's an average salary of $22.77 for somebody that's going to be a supervisor that will be in charge of all facilities within the county. Page 39,
No.
47,354.
So, I think you're right, and we'll have a better opportunity to track somebody. Well, I guess I'll have it on stage. I'm thinking,
I think this needs to be an individual that is self-motivated, that will maintain all the facilities within the entire county, and take control and hopefully be able to eliminate, our mowing, maybe, if it works out. But I want somebody that will go to all facilities, change filters, change light bulbs, things of that nature, and just do their own, do the job that needs to be done. And I don't think that if you're applying for a position like that at a rate of $19 and something cents an hour, you're gonna get that person.
I'm gonna stray a little bit. Does anybody work on your and Paul's, does any maintenance person work on your and Paul's office down there?
No, it's just, they call, Eric's over.
Oh, he has.
Yes, he has.
Like a stop at toilet or whatever?
Well, hold the ceiling in the little storage building outside.
No, I mean, you're actually building that you and Paul actually.
I don't know, as far as regular. But that's not true. When they had it back down, that person.
What about you and your offices?
We take care of it ourselves.
We take care of it.
Well, the manager said, somebody that's responsible for all county buildings.
Absolutely. I want somebody that is responsible for all buildings. We're looking at, a major improvement in Blanco. We're looking at the old jail facility, this facility, the annex, the fairgrounds, the Starflight facility. All that's going to be county-owned property.
You can answer a request and pursue it, go see the
charge of, he or she knows they're in charge of all the properties. And if there's an incident that happens in one of your offices or any other elected office, you send either a voicemail or an email, say, this is my issue, and he needs to schedule it and get it on his calendar. Please.
Well, I think I had this discussion with someone, I think we'll probably go any further than that, have a work order process that we do.
Yes, work order process, it would be necessary. The supervisor would need to, take his work orders and either take care of himself or his helper and do a monthly walkthrough or weekly walkthrough of each building and take notes of what might need to be done. Now, will this cover, incidental painting projects, this, maintenance?
Incidental painting?
Yeah, like, a small building needs paint, and they have time on their hands and they can go and paint that building.
Well, how much it costs, we have $1,000 in supplies.
But there's also other money in our non-departmental that we can transfer into this line.
Absolutely. This is the starting.
Right.
Okay. All right, well, I have a problem with, budgeting that larger number, anybody got an objection? Next.
So next, I was looking through some other county areas and I come across one that has a CDL CDL commercial driver's license pay. Oh, there's no pay for it. This would be a question and a concern that I have. As we move into territories and hiring new people, we understand that the CDL process is more and more difficult. Paul mentioned a dollar figure on what it takes in today's world to get a CDL. Llano County, they have a line item built into the budget that will help send them to school, which I think we should be able to use teach. But it's going to be, there'll be some costs associated with it. So I don't know if we want to put a number. I know, there's going to be some road and bridge employees that are going to retire, that are about to turn 65 that will retire. So I know this is going to be a bigger and bigger issue. And I was wondering, should we put a number in road and bridge somewhere and to cover that expenditure?
Talk about training.
Training.
I believe it should. You do it at the sheriff's department.
Do we think we want to do it for, with the mindset that there will be, that there could be as many as, under current conditions, 8 CDL accident, more CDL holders, but at least 8 CDL holders?
That's what we're requiring for each.
It's a requirement.
To be one employee, to stand up, CDL.
But if they're hired without one, they have, 90 days?
No, work with what's going on now. For a while there, you could get in. Now, Paul, you know what the expense was for that class? You know, just
This is a school that we you go for 4 weeks, you basically residents wait for 4 weeks. It was $5,400. That's just for the school, that's not the housing, the travel.
well, my understanding, right, they're moving away from these centers where you just go in to part of the internet, and do the rest of it. They're moving away where you have to go through classes, correct?
I think so.
You won't have much. And some of these cost $3 to $5 grand for these classes,
So the Llano County Commissioner that I talked to this morning, he mentioned that they put in there $4,000 for $4,000 per individual for like 4 per precinct. I think is the way they worded it. Now they have more personnel than we do. So, I would think $20,000 in a line item for CDL.
but I imagine.
You might not use it at all. I mean, you might have everybody pass.
What would you think about putting it in, identifying the CDL, putting it in non-departmental, So since the four of you may draw from it, not the same.
Could you put it in,
By the way, just for sake, think about this. Possibly the maintenance department's gonna be exceeded.
I don't, yes,
Or the sheriff's office. Something.
I have no problem with it, I was just thinking, taking it out of the road and bridge fund and maybe even putting it in the commissioner's salary, you know, in that vicinity. Not necessarily in each budget, but just in one line item. And I don't know if that would be.
As a commissioner's salary, you know, that's all that's comes out of that department. So we could do an expense and put it in that department where the commissioner's salaries are.
Oh, okay.
See,
Never mind, John. Oh,
page
okay.
25.
Is that what makes sense?
It's an option.
All right, and the number you're sending is what?
Okay, so there's two parts to it. There's the second part of that is, Lamar County, they give an incentive or a bonus of $500 per CDL per year. So I don't know if y'all be interested in that part of it, or what?
But you're making why would you get a bonus for meeting a job requirement?
They don't, apparently they have employees that don't have CDLs.
I know, but he just said,
We do.
Well, if it was to be in a position that we have, let's say, 4 road and bridge hands, it might not be a requirement that all 4 of them have a CDL. I don't know if I'll be that spot, so.
It makes it tough on VS to jump on a piece of equipment, food, or whatever, too.
Well, you know, when you have a CDL, all of your license, changes. So if, you know, if you get pulled over, the law enforcement looks at you a little different than somebody that don't have a CDL. So that's another liability that you're part of. So, and when you look at base salaries, if you're looking at base salaries of a road and bridge hand compared to the base salary of a clerk, it's the same amount. They don't have to have that extra liability.
We have a fund for schools, right?
So there's a control court fund.
yeah, but not for, that's not for this kind of thing. It's more for your travel expenses and others that are traveling on commissioner's court kind of business and registration fees, education, that kind of thing. But we're talking about page 25, we're going to put it in here. So, just give me my item called CDL.
CDL pay is what it was worded in the budget.
And this is the bonus for the training.
Well, it'd be both, I think. And I guess that's the question is, do you,
I don't think you can lump them together, because the 500 would be a taxable to the employee, where the education would be paid directly to the institution, that would not be taxable to you.
and that's a question, I mean, you know, do you want to pay a 500 to a person that has a CDL? Or not? That's the point.
I just think help them get it.
Help them get it?
Because I could get applicants a lot that don't have it, that will work towards it. But here's their problem, they don't have a truck or a trailer, then they have to go to San Angelo or wherever, you know, when they get these classes. You know, they'll go directly there, they don't have the truck and trailer or whatever. But as soon as they get that, go ahead.
So you're saying, whatever this number is to pay for everything, is to pay for things to get them the license.
You bet, I think it should be part of the schooling cost, not an incentive once you have it.
You're saying,
Be more like a bonus, we don't.
you're saying that plus the increment pay for having a CDL like somebody has to be a master.
Police officer.
Or police officer.
I'm saying that's what Lamb County is.
Look, in the private sector, what a guy gets with the regular CEO is quite a bit more than the county is. Quite a bit.
So I would say in this line item, I would have to put 20,000 for schooling, training, for a CDL license. And it might not get spent, or it might.
But then you get into the situation with the sheriff, with his training, he needs to get him on training, and he pay for all that.
But that's a risk that every county takes.
That's,
Sheriff's Department.
that's what the, qualification and salary compensation study is gonna try to help us combat. To these things. Frankly, I've reached the point, listening to other counties that, well, I'll put it this way. Had a judge in Lano that says, Lano takes the people from Mason because Mason pays less than Lano. Then Lano turns around and Vernon takes the people from Lano because Vernon pays better than them. And then they all go to Williamson County because Williamson County pays better than everybody. So it's just a never ending.
And I think the two gentlemen in the back can nod and shake their heads to that.
Well, we can do that, but that doesn't, we can do the training at school, but that doesn't address your other concern about pay.
Well, and Tommy made a point that he's not comfortable with that amount, so that's fine, I don't know what the other ones. Just a thought, it was just a.
You mean $500?
Right.
I mean, is that what they're paying monthly, $500 if they have a CDL?
Annually, will be a $500 annual increase.
Yeah, I mean, I like the idea, if we have non-CDL employees, there's a difference there. But if you have only CDL employees, I don't understand. You can give them we'll just set their pay at $500 more and be done, right?
Right.
You guys should have that, because again, we can't find them.
Okay, you're saying 500 a month, I thought you were saying 500 a year.
500 a year.
500, whatever, one country, they want their pay.
It's different.
Well, now it is quite a bit different, so I'm just saying you're gonna have to pay for having their CDL or pay for their CDL. We require.
Yeah, starting stuff.
Yeah.
They come in at that starting stuff, we get the CDL form. Now, if we give them $500, it would be considered bonus. I don't think we could take taxpayers, we can pay a bonus.
But we have.
No, we can't, what we can do, I think, to the auditor and the treasurer. Why couldn't we treat this a little bit like a law enforcement analogy and say, once a commissioner's employee has it's like an increase to their salary, how they do the law enforcement when they get some level of credential. So we just put that in every precinct line item.
What'd you say?
So we would just put, let's say, he says 500, let's say it's 1,000. 2 employees, that's $2,000. We just put a line item that has CDL paying $2,000, and you figure out how to apply.
Yes, in each budget, but it
It's each precinct budget.
yes, because, yes, it's part of their salary.
And so you just take 2,000 divided by however many pay periods and pay it.
Well, but I thought y'all, did you change the amount? Isn't it 500?
I'm sorry, he's saying 500, I'm saying 1,000. I said 2,000 because there's 2 employees. But I don't know if it's gonna be 500 or more. Would you argue with 1,000?
I'm not gonna argue that.
Yeah, maybe the same, maybe just aside, once they get their certification, CDL license, we would pay them, we would take that amount. If they only have 6 months left,
So what kind
they get
of,
the whole 500,000.
so what kind of gonna help me propose is in the 4 precincts, road and bridge departments, a new line item for CDL pay.
Yes.
Does that go with the ones that already have the CDLs, the $500,
Yeah.
$1,000, whatever?
Yeah.
That's the whole point.
We used to get people without a CDL, if I gave them a time frame, and they're fighting, getting into school and schedules, this and that. And seniors recommend that 90 days, but you can't get these done, I will keep looking for something. I don't want to go there, we, right?
All right, well, I know what to propose now.
So I do have one question, because there's a guy standing in the back room, that I think about the CDL. Would you do it for any other agency?
They have a CDA.
Let's just say, employee of the sheriff's office has a CDL, would you give them that benefit or not?
Is it necessary to have a CDL to be a sheriff's officer?
No, sir.
Okay.
But there are times somebody's driving a bus that's just full of people.
There's a time that we're in a dire emergency and we're needing to get people moved from one side to the other, maybe not even in a bus, but something other than that. If there was a CDL driver that would come, and I guess the question, you know.
We're gonna get one of these command center buses.
Correct. Well, it depends on the weight of it. And then, do you know what the driver, the requirement for the bus like that we're looking at?
That should be a class B.
Still a CDL.
Anything over 26,000 pounds gross weight requires a commercial or class B exit.
Does anybody have any objections?
I don't.
We'd be doing that.
There we have.
What was the question?
No way to.
How many people can the van hold?
Like our van
That's
holds,
what I'm talking about, the big bus van.
it has 8, 11 seats in it.
But it's not, that van is not rated for
No.
any kind of class other than a class C driver's license, it's only single axle, single wheel.
Okay, I understand the direction, see what I put together.
Okay.
How, I guess, we'll figure out some way of holding, see who has a CDL currently. And that's it. All right, figure it out.
So the last, the thing that I have is salaries.
Okay, on salaries, while Ms. Early and Ms. Ashby I made the request, and I guess we would get this hammered out up front. You know, I'm going to propose a full-time investigator, and I know that it was kind of quiet, it didn't sound like there was objection at the time. So I guess we need to address any objections you might have to that idea, because if you don't, then not only do I want to propose a full-time investigator, but because their salary is on the county attorney's page, and look at it, I don't know what that is. But I also want to ask you to take action today. If you're more or less agreeable to my proposal, I want you to take action today to authorize the county attorney's office to hire an investigator full-time, even though it wasn't budgeted that way, mainly because they're running under budget and have enough money to pay for a full-timer throughout the rest of this fiscal year, if we're going to approve a full-time investigator for the next fiscal year.
So I'd like to ask the county attorney, is this a necessity?
It is. Yes.
There you go.
I'm going to let Kim speak on that.
Yeah.
So one of the things that the investigator would do for us is screen cases when they come in to make sure the cases are complete. It's something that an attorney doesn't need to be doing, we should be working on other things. We call victims to see if they've got restitution, if they've been paid yet. We call victims to see if they want to report their cases, and they resolve outside of court. They'd also be helping the judge do the probate matters, finding missing people.
JP.
I'm sorry.
JP.
Oh, they would, yes, they'd also help the JP officers writing reports, for both JP, doing it for court also, doing it for, civil matters that the court might have. It would just benefit, I think the county in general, but our office would be a huge help.
And does this investigator have to be equal certified?
Yes.
So, would anybody be willing to make assuming that you're okay with my proposal, would anybody be willing to make a motion to authorize the county attorney to hire an opportunity investigator for full-time? Starting, whenever we can start. ASAP.
So,
We've got the money in the budget right now, the rest of the year.
Yes, they do. So I heard a motion that says so moved. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Commissioner Bruce seconds, discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Now we can go back to the regular budget.
So, one more thing before we actually jump into the salaries. The elected officials in Blanco County do not receive longevity pay. Elected officials in some of the other counties that I investigated do receive longevity pay. I would like to know what the thought of the court, if they would like to see elected officials receive longevity pay.
Like for me.
Well, then you made the motion.
All right. Step into the line, landlines. The point of longevity pay, as I know it, is to reward somebody for loyalty. Back in prior life, it was to retain people who were accumulating levels of experience and expertise in their jobs and the value to the organization. I think that's the same reason we do it here. And you remember, I kind of had real problems with the fact that we cut it off at whatever it was, 15 years or something. It's like at 16 years, we no longer value you, and I didn't understand that, so we changed it. So now moving to elected officials, of course, that's a different animal in so many ways. But you've heard me say that, and I so firmly believe this, that most elected officials won't corral the entire bunch, but most of them I find to be hardworking people that are wind up being full-timers, whether maybe they're not 8 to 5ers, but they're full-timers. So, but I'm just thinking, it's hard to say this because when you take about elected officials, you have one-offs in various offices, like the clerk's office and the taxation director. You have 4 commissioners, but I'm really using Commissioner Mayor in my example, thinking about it, and it's kind of worth the money to have retained his expertise because he was going to need two terms ago. And we talked to him saying he wants to leave with me twice and failed to get him to stay a third time. But as you serve as a commissioner, you accumulate experience, accumulate expertise, and so I can see that longevity, or even that makes sense.
I can look at the JP. So look at the JP and what if you had to change JPs every 4 years? The time that it takes already have, it's, you already lost 2 years. So the knowledge that this one JP here has, I wouldn't make an incentive for him to run.
I would guess he'd shake his head in the affirmative that he knows more about being a JP today than he did when he got it personally.
A little bit, let's hope.
At least I'm here.
Yeah. So conceptually, I can understand it. You'll receive public comment, it's lining elected officials' pockets. It's a terrible thing to do, so you just have to suffer through that.
About on the national level, it's like, oh man, no, but
Well, we don't want to give Nancy Pelosi incentive to just stay
worry
right.
about it. Yeah.
Okay. Ms. Strickland, who has 21, 26 years?
Yes, sir.
Time goes by.
Yes. You did not give yourself a salary increase?
I never give myself a salary increase. I refuse to propose my own salary increase. In the last few years, the commissioner usually at the last minute makes the motion, and that's fine, but I'm not going to propose a salary increase for myself.
I just want to make sure the court saw that.
It doesn't, it's problematic because I don't know how Congress, they vote themselves salary increases, and if they didn't, they wouldn't get salary increases because it's human. I don't know how that would work, but I'm not going to propose my own salary increase.
We'll come through and well,
Having said that, there are counties where they make some differentials even for county judges, and we'll see if this all gets approved and we actually have a compensation and classification study, we'll see what they think.
Well, if you see some of the surrounding counties with the judge makes, compared to what they make here, what the judge makes here, it's substantial difference. I'm talking a lot.
It's like, anyway.
What I do like about our county judge is he's a lawyer. And in other counties, you don't have to be a lawyer. And you bring that to the House meeting. I feel like sometimes we have a third attorney, because of that. I think it's important. And
it is kind of interesting that your friend Judge Lux is not a candidate as not a lawyer, but Kendall County is about to elect her because Judge Lux is retiring. Now it's going to change to a lawyer. Judge Strayer in Costa County is a lawyer, and the new one's going to be a lawyer.
I feel in the future, that's probably going to become more important.
I don't know.
Yep.
Oh, well, in the future, we'll be going to have county court law.
But the surrounding counties around us, is considerable differences.
Thank you for bringing that up, Mr. Strickland, but we'll worry about it another day. All right, what else?
So how did that turn out, the elected officials longevity? What was the pleasure of the court?
Let's continue part back up because I really don't know what to propose at this point.
How do you feel about it at this point? Yeah, I understand the incentive.
It would be better. It would be better to propose it up front so that it's out there for people, and then decide not to do it, as opposed to waiting and then deciding to do it.
Oh, okay.
But I don't want to propose it because unless there's at least some interest in it.
I am for it.
What?
I am for it.
Yeah. Well, it's got a lot of, I'll support the discussion on it. And, yes.
You don't.
Come on.
All right, I will, if Connie and I can figure out how, we'll put it in as a proposal.
So then the last, piece for me would be the raises for,
Wait a minute, hang on a second. But I have some concerns about, the way our, longevity pay works now. It really, incentivizes somebody to stay, I think it's the 2-year mark and the 4-year mark. Is that right, or is it 3-year mark?
2 and 4, 2, 4, and 6.
Right. Well, you're elected, because you're here for 4 years regardless, so, so instead of those large increments, I think what I would propose for the longevity pay for elected officials is just a straight 1% across the board.
it's just a,
I don't see those two big numbers necessarily. But that's something you can discuss. Okay, all right, sorry, go ahead.
or maybe, okay, so salaries, for all agencies, you know, originally I thought some very big numbers. After reconsidering and looking at some more, I would like to look at a 15% raise, across the board, excluding the sheriff's office because of their midterm raise. So the sheriff's office will get what, however you would like, however you can calculate that out based on what they've already received.
But to add up to,
Add a percentage or something, you know, I know some of them got more of a raise than others, so that was a, you know.
I believe, help me out, I believe that the sheriff has proposed across the board 5% for his people
I believe that's correct.
going forward.
Okay, so move with a 5% for the sheriff's office going forward and a 15% for all other employees.
I heard you say the word move, but.
I'll say it. And I'm not gonna explain why, go ahead.
But under the statutes, one of the few times I get to actually do something on my own is propose a budget. And it's my proposal on the 31st.
Oh, okay.
So if you all are making motions for these raises, I guess I kind of have to include that in my proposal, even though, as you know, I'm not really down with it. So, as much as I just think that will happen. This, I mean, you limited this, so I hope to get it out, because I'm really about it.
What do you judge, I take it back?
I think what I'll do is I'll propose the way I want it. We can vote on this motion. And if it passes, then come the first meeting in August, we'll have your numbers and even though I propose something.
Can we see those numbers on paper?
Sure.
Let's do it like that.
Yeah, I'd like to see what that percentage of raise is. I know it varies, but it's going to,
Absolutely.
it's gonna be right up there.
Yeah, it's,
I mean, it's gonna be up somewhere close to 10% or whatever. If you're figuring out hourly rates, right, it's gonna vary between every,
okay, I understand.
I don't know if I did.
Yes, the way the judge did is hourly rate. It varies from 15 to 7 in one page here.
15%.
15% to 7%.
Yeah, so we're kind of talking almost about the same thing over here.
That's gonna be a little bit more than what he's proposed. It's more than what he's proposed.
A little more, but not much.
It's a lot. It's a lot, because, my proposal is basically 10.3% on the low end of raising the base salary. We get to the top end of around the commissioner's salary, it's like 6%. So it's private. That's fine, and yes, we'll definitely, it's not just make Connie work late longer. And we'll just, we can.
I'll have CDL, so I'll get an extra for that.
So we can do these, 5%, 50%. So you want, vote on this motion, or?
Or do you want us to wait till after you propose your?
I'd rather, but I can't do
I can wait. I do have my mind in place, I just can't get it off. That's all I can do is forget about it. Hope it doesn't.
You know what, maybe we should go ahead and vote on the motion so that people, both inside and outside, know what's coming sooner than later. Even though I'm gonna propose something less. I'm sorry, I just. Okay, so all in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye. Aye. I heard 4 ayes. And I guess we're gonna have to do that. Okay. What's next?
With that being said, then that rolls back to your tax rate in order to keep us out of pulling out the reserves. So,
Tax rate, we're pulling out to 22.
Well, I'm assuming, I think that we ought to adjust the tax rate back to where it is now, currently. And that way we would be pulling less money in the reserves. I know that we're still gonna be pulling money in the reserves, even going back to the rate that we're at right now. But the amount of reserves is kind of where I'm comfortable with.
All right. I'm not gonna propose that, but we certainly do that. The reason I'm not gonna propose it is I'd like to share. One is, even at your 15%, it's not gonna be the kind of expense you would necessarily think it's gonna be. That we could handle it as part of the reserve transfer and wouldn't need to raise taxes. Secondly, if we keep the tax rate, I heard you say right, keep the tax rate like it is now, then essentially, because of the valuations that have taken place, that's about a 30 to 40% tax increase on everything. I just, let's get it.
Well, and I'm fine with that. I'm just saying that we need to make the amount of the tax or ad valorem tax equal to what we're comfortable with pulling on reserves.
I think I can make that. Okay. Because we've got some adjustments from our earlier discussion. I think I can make that. Okay. What's next?
That's all on my list.
I'm going to remind this, kind of a weak point, I think. In Judge Riley's original proposal, he wanted to up his part-time lady to 30 hours a week. And I thought I had the paper with me, but I don't. I think it's something like $17 an hour to increase her pay from like 11. But with this 15% raise, I don't.
In order to be part-time, you have to remain under.
29.
You have to remain under 29 hours. Per hour.
Let me add that I know for a fact that Connie had a verbal conversation with Judge Riley that you needed to be here like everyone else that has budget issues needs to be here to discuss. Excuse me, during the workshop. And he wasn't. So, something to think about. So,
Very small.
so, you know, I don't know, I'm just saying that, Judge Brockbeck, if he wants somebody, when he did want a part-time, where he can ask for it. So, your thoughts, Mr. Greenberg, you're down there a lot.
Like for Judge Riley to be here to propose that himself.
Well, we're getting to the point where it's hard to do.
I'm talking.
And he did file it, I mean, it has to be, now it's, he did file it, of course, like everybody else filed it. He just wasn't here to explain. And we didn't really touch on it, unfortunately,
Salary increases, it's going to pretty much take care of itself.
Not really, because she only works,
She works 2 days a week, 16 hours.
and they work nearly 5 days a week, they certainly want 4 days a week.
Is it that much work?
Yeah.
I think your question was, is there that much work around there? I have the inquest case numbers. That's just one thing they do, not by any stretch all of what they do. And if you look at them, Judge Broadbeck handles a good 30 or 40% more increase. If you go to a real comparison, which is magistrations, Judge Broadbeck handles about I think around 70%. All of these pages are just Broadway, so. Here we go. But that doesn't really go to the question of, office activity, because this is what they do out in the field by and large.
Well, Judge, just looking at your proposed revenues, there's a big difference there.
Sorry, I heard the last part.
The difference in the proposed revenues.
What they take in, there's a big difference there.
Which is a sign of office activity.
Yes, sir.
Judge Broadbeck, you got one person coming.
Yes,
No, I have a part-time, she makes $14 an hour.
So you have one full-time and one part-time,
Yes, sir.
just the same as the salary.
Yes. Well, she makes $17 an hour, not 17.
Yeah,
And
and
she works 3 days.
3 days.
She works 24 hours.
But you just hired her.
Yes, she's brand new.
When you say the same as the South, getting kind of involved with some Lano discussions. His office with 1.5 people has brought in more, I believe, than 3 JP offices in Lano with 2. Now, they've since corrected some of that as far as the number of people in the position. Based partly on the study. But anyway, I think the first point is they're getting busier down there,
They are.
but I don't know.
Again, I'd like to be here, explain.
You could give her 3 days. That way there'd be 3 days. I mean, both JPs would have part-time. That'd be 24 hours a week.
I don't mind proposing 24, if that's the court's rule. And that is a compromise.
And that's be the same, north and south.
And that would give them a third day
Yes,
of coverage.
yes,
You get that?
yes.
Okay.
And the pay would need to be the same.
Well, I mean, currently she does not make 17, right?
Okay. Ms. Strickland?
There seemed to be a discussion about pay, whether there's gonna be an equal pay for the part-time employees for those two positions.
What are their rates now, does anyone know?
Randy's paying his 14 an hour.
And Judge Riley's paying her $11.93 an hour.
11 what?
$11.93.
Okay. I guess what I would propose is trying to figure out how to equal those up and my raise, but we'll figure out equal them up and your raise. For you to say how the numbers. We did vote on that motion, right? We did, what else? Ms. Harrison, what am I missing?
That was the only thing I needed to remind you.
I'm sorry,
Just that was all I had.
just what, everything we've done?
Yes.
So, I put this agenda item on, the next one, we can keep these two open if we have more, say about it, but, as for 17, I put it on there close, so we have some numbers, but I know Commissioner was going to have the trials and tribulations being the contractor, squared away, so do we still think 320? You cover the project and possibly get it done in August and September.
Mr. President, in San Antonio, so I mean, back on the job, I think. Job.
So question, for some reason, if he cannot get back, prior to the end of this year's budget cycle, can we transfer this money back into reserve, into the?
Under the current policy, it will go back into the road and bridge payment.
Okay.
And so,
What I'm trying to do is get you there to finish.
Right, understand.
and then, so you'll be comfortable with my reducing, which will help for this latest motion, pay raise. My reducing your request in the next fiscal year?
Yes.
Okay, and if we have to, we'll have to come back and add to it again.
Awesome. I mean, I don't know until I get back on the job and get my next bid covered. I do have some money in my budget too.
So on 17, you want to make a motion?
Judge, before you do that, I think you have a cash account, but I really think it's the fund balance, not the cash. It's the budget amendment to add that expense.
So we need to have it accurate, and we haven't done this before, so I'm used to it, so that makes sense. How does the motion get worded if we're gonna do
It needs to be a budget amendment to increase the 15,540,330, $320,000, and it would be coming out of fund balance,
it? Coming out of the
fund balance,
fund.
our road and bridge fund.
Fund balance operating. You'll note that I haven't brought up Middle Creek project, but you still have a lot of funds left. If we have to do this, I guess we'll get there, but we're not there yet. And yours needs to extend over to October 1st.
Hopefully not, but it's in the works that we're paying as we go. They just took a large mobilization draw, and we're paying every week. They're all on site, they're piecing out the building, so we'll have that paid for. But hopefully, yes, by October 1st, we should be complete with the whole project.
Commissioner Greenberg and I attended a function a couple of nights ago, and a very prominent landowner out there who has expressed displeasure and has been opposed to the Middle Creek change the whole time. And I went across the Middle Creek that evening, so I saw what was being done, and I mentioned it. She had not changed her mind, and was still unhappy. But what was interesting is her ranch manager, who was standing to her side, said, well, that's because she doesn't haul a cattle trailer through there every other week, and so he loves the idea. Anybody that has to navigate it and kind of get it along is happy with your project.
Well, what we end up with sometimes bad times. As long as it's a whole.
So, Commissioner,
So item 17, I'd like to make a motion to make a budget amendment to add $320,000 to line item 15-540-330 to come out of the road and bridge fund balance.
I will say.
Commissioner, your seconds. Further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Any other caution on the budget? Is there some? Commissioner Greenberg, discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Oh. Good second,
There's unanimous vote of aye. We are adjourned.
Seats are. Those are.